Okay, Ji. The slide is visible to you.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, we are going to start our first lecture regarding the transportation engineering. So I am Dr. Hassan. I would be teaching you this subject. So we are having 3 contact hours for the theory and 3 contact hours for the lab. So before starting the lecture, a brief introduction about OB system. You all are familiar with this outcome-based education. So OB stands for outcome-based education. So outcome or output. So that is the result or product. University, that is the product, and it is being judged based on the performance of the graduates and the alumni. So OB is a process that involves assessment and evaluation practices in education to reflect the attainment of expected learning and showing mastery in the program area. So program, that is the civil engineering students, uh, they are basically learning in a program. Those persons which are learning in a program, then what you're having, learning in a program, graduates just pass the program, and alumni, ex students, now working as on various in various organizations, they are the alumni. Then domains of engineering fall into 3 categories: cognitive, that is related with your knowledge. Engineering knowledge, you are studying the engineering course, so engineering knowledge that falls under the banner of this cognitive domain. Then comes the psychomotor, skill learned about using the about skill learned by moving the body parts. Like you can perform plastic limit test. What is that? Roll soil into a thread having a diameter of 1/8 of an inch. So what is this? Is your skill. Psychomotor, yeah, in this lab you are going to perform the experiments regarding the aggregates, regarding the bitumen. So based on that, the skill you are going to learn, that is your psychomotor skill. Next comes the affective domain, that is attitude, ethical values, manners. So all these three, they are combined. Normally when we are going to take the exam, we are going for the cognitive domain, psychomotor in the lab, and affective, that is based on that discipline you show in the class. So these are the 3 domains, engineering domains, which are being covered. Now, benefit of the OB is that it's a continuous quality improvement process. So based on the experience of the previous persons who have graduated, or based on your experience, uh, suggestions, topics can be included in the course, or we are going to modify various segments of the course. So that is continuous quality improvement cycle. Now, regarding outcomes or objectives, first one is the program. Your program is civil engineering program. PEO stands for program educational objectives, and PEOs are assessed from the alumni after 4 or 5 years of graduation. So program educational objectives. Then comes PLOs, program learning outcomes assessed from graduates at the time of graduation. And then CLOs, these are the course learning outcomes. PEOs, PLOs, and CLOs, uh, you have to assess. PLO, that is for the program, and CLOs, that is for one specific course. Like transportation engineering, we are having 4 CLOs. At the end of this course, you would be able to address these problems or these issues. Now, program educational objectives. So they are 4. You must be remembering. ये corridors में जब when you're coming on in the class on campus, तो यहाँ corridors में they are over there. तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि you are having 4 uh, program educational objectives. Then program learning outcomes. Program learning outcomes are 12. So some are checked in one course, some are checked in the other course. So depending upon this, you must be remembering that each student has to achieve passing score in each PLO. So PLO, program learning outcomes, they are 12. Then CLOs, course learning outcome for this transportation engineering course. So after passing the course of transportation engineering, students will be able, after this course, you would be able, first see course learning outcome is to describe different systems and structures of road, railways, and runways in Pakistan. Like regarding the roads, we are having the highways, we are having the urban roads, then we are having the motorways, we are having dedicated track for buses like metro bus track, we are having dedicated track for train like Orange Line train. Then railways, different gauges, they are functional. We are having the broad gauge track, then we are having meter gauge for the metro railway. So they are basically then runways, some are landing strips, some are international airports, some are local airports, some are landing strips. So after completing this course, you may be able to differentiate between different road networks or different types of rail or runway network in Pakistan. Then discuss various factors influencing geometric design of roads, railways, and runways. So we are going to study geometric design, lane width, number of lanes, how you are going to decide about these factors. So it comes under the banner of the geometric design. So we are going to study different parameters which are going influencing the design. Then third one is to explain material characterization, binder, like in concrete, you are using the cement as the binder. In case of the bitumen, we are using the asphalt as the binder. Then aggregates and mixture and existing laboratory equipment for characterization of ballast material and asphalt concrete. So this is basically what you can say, material characterization and existing laboratory facilities. Then to theorize and defend the traffic recommended traffic management plan and or geometric or pavement design. So these are the four course learning outcomes. One, two, three, they are of the cognitive domain and they are mapped with PLO 1 and 3. Four, that is regarding the affective domain and it is mapped with PLO 10. So these are the four learning outcomes for the theory. लैब के जो हैं वो बैद साहब ने आपसे डिस्कस कर लिए होंगे कोर्स लर्निंग आउटकम्स फॉर द lab class. First three, they fall or they are mapped with psychomotor analysis. What you can say, Bloom's taxonomy, psychomotor 1, 2, 3 level. And fourth one, material characterization and existing laboratory equipment for characterization of aggregates and asphalt. So that is cognitive level 3. So bitumen, please remember one thing, bitumen or asphalt, that is one thing. अमेरिकन जो हैं वो asphalt सीमेंट यूज करते हैं, जो बिचुमन है ये ब्रिटिश यूज करते हैं. So it can be used alternatively, bitumen or asphalt cement or only asphalt. Then regarding the reference books for this course, these books, they are available in the main library reference section. So first one, that is the highways, fourth edition, maybe sixth edition, that is now in the market, but हमारी library में fourth edition है by CEO of Flaherty. So it's a good book. Then Principles of Highway Engineering and Traffic Analysis by Manring and Klasky. This book, Introduction to Transportation Engineering, James Bank. So that you may take it as your textbook, your geometric design of the roads. We are going to follow this book, especially horizontal curves, super elevation diagram. So the lectures, they are from this Introduction to Transportation Engineering by James Bank. Now, one important thing is, as far as the writers by books by Western writers are concerned, so they are going to discuss simultaneously road, railroad, or runway. Simultaneously, they are going to discuss. But in case of Asian writers like Indo-Pak, they are going to discuss separately, like separate books for the highway engineering, separate for the runway engineering, and other for the airport planning and design. So these are the books. Then transportation engineering by Khishti and Kent Lal. So your traffic analysis studies, that is from this book. Then highway engineering by Paul H. Wright, highway engineering by Oglesby, and policy design, policy on geometric design of highway and streets. That is the green book by Ashto. So if you are visit any consultancy or any consulting firm which are dealing with highway consultancy. So this book, that is the must. A policy on geometric design of highway, all the issues or all the regarding the geometric design of highways and streets, they are basically mentioned, or that is regarded as a core book for highway engineering. Then regarding the railway engineering, there is one manual, Ways and Works manual. So it is by Pakistan Railway. So इफ यू ज्वाइन रेलवे डिपार्टमेंट तो रेलवे एकेडमी में जो ट्रेनिंग हो रही होती है उसमें मेजर पोर्शन जो है दैट इज फ्रॉम दिस पाकिस्तान वेज एंड वर्क्स मैनुअल देन देयर आर टू थ्री बुक्स one by Indian authors. One is the Railway Tracks by Antia, then Railway Engineering by Chandra and Agarwal. Then regarding the airport planning and design, a very very good book. ये बुक गूगल अगर आप करें तो इसका पीडीएफ इज अवेलेबल, airport planning and design by Robert Horangeff. That is the name of the book. So airport planning and design by Robert Horangeff. Now based on these books, what's over there, you may have these books or you may consult these books. One thing, second thing is ये जो highway या runway या railway से related, this is the only course geometric design of roads that is being discussed in this course. And regarding the pavement design, we are going to study in pavement and foundation. Final year में एक और course कर रहे होंगे pavement and foundation का, वहाँ आप pavement design की बात कर रहे होंगे. So together geometric design plus yeah, pavement design you are going to study in these 2 years. Regarding the course contents, we would be discussing about what is transportation engineering, a brief intro, then elements of typical cross section of the road. Like if we talk about a road, so different elements are bearing surface on which you are moving. Then you are having the base course layer. Then you are having the sub base course layer, and at the bottom you are having the subgrade or soil. How to assess the properties of these materials, either the material which you are going to use as a subgrade or sub-base material, is it suitable or it needs some sort of improvement. So we are going to discuss a little bit about this, plus material characterization, sub-base or sub-grade characterization you have studied in geotechnical engineering 1 and 2. In transportation engineering, you are going to study about the characterization of the aggregates. कि जो आपकी दो layers हैं, base course या sub base course, over there you would be requiring the aggregates. So material characterization for the aggregates, material characterization for the binder you are going to study. Then design speed. How you are going to fix the design speed based on the your capacity, lane capacity. Like in case of the motorway, you say maximum speed is 120 kilometers per hour or minimum speed is 80 kilometers per hour. So how you have fixed this speed? Similarly, lane capacity, what is the level of service of the road? So we are going to carry out the traffic analysis. Based on that, we are going to fix the design speed. Then capacity reducing factors. Horizontal curves and vertical curves for geometric alignment of the roads we are going to discuss. Then comes super elevation. So super elevation, transition curves, curve widening. So these are the when we are going to discuss the geometric design of the highway. So these are the subtopics which we are going to discuss. Then side distance requirements. What is side distance? The distance ahead or when you are traveling. So how much distance is visible to you ahead so that you can apply the brakes safely without striking an object. इसकी definitions की बात करेंगे कि what are stopping side distance, what is the passing side distance, what is the overtaking side distance. Normally in while traveling through hilly areas, you have seen कि मरी वगैरह जाएं तो at sharp curves they have placed mirrors. The car coming from the opposite direction, that should be visible to you. So side distance requirements. Then principles of intersection design for add grade and grade separated intersection. So intersection, you are familiar that when one road that is going to cross the other road, so that is the intersection. Now add grade means both roads they are at the same level. Grade separated intersection, maybe the example of an overhead bridge, or maybe the example of underpass. One road is at a higher level, other road that is at a lower level, or vice versa. One road is high and other one that is on the ground. So grade separated intersections. Railway tracks may be, you are having the grade separated intersections or at grade intersections. So these are the intersections. Then channelization, like to regularize and monitor the traffic thoroughly, you have to go for traffic channelization. Then highway construction materials and their properties and test. ये हम lab portion में बात कर रहे होंगे कि what are the construction materials, how you can ascertain that good quality material that is to be used in case of the road constructions, or what are the tests which you are going to carry out for to characterize these highway materials. Then characteristics of the drivers, vehicles, and roadways. Drivers, then pedestrians, the person walking on foot, that is the pedestrian. So when you are going to design the road, you have to take into consideration, especially in urban area, okay, what are the characteristics? Are the vehicles अगर use हो रही हैं तो either heavy vehicles, yeah, if they are being used, like you have seen, okay, at every exit, at every entry point on the motorway, they have placed the weighing balances या weighing counters. कांटा उर्दू में कह रहे होते हैं. Just they say, okay, you can travel on the motorway if your load is within the prescribed limit. If you are exceeding the prescribed limit, so you are not allowed to travel by motorway. In case of the GT road, you may see the trucks, they are overloaded, and that is the cause why deterioration of the road that is going to occur very quickly. Then traffic surveys. Okay, like if there is one, you have to say okay, traffic congestion is too much. So we may go for some sort of underpass. So for that, you have to carry out the traffic survey. How many number of cars they are passing through a certain section of the road, and what is the time in which this activity that is the maximum. अक्सर ये different points के ऊपर persons they are standing and they are having the counters and they are counting the traffic flow. Or if you want to join some town or some village to the main road or main city or some industrial area, you have to carry out the traffic survey after the execution or once this industrial building is functional. So you would be requiring good roads so that the products from the factory, it can reach the market or cities in a short interval of time. So you have to carry out traffic surveys, and these surveys, they are the basis. You say okay, this road construction has to be executed. Then traffic controlling devices, signals, highway illuminations, parkings, and accident studies. So we are going to discuss this part as the highway portion of this transportation engineering course. This transportation engineering course consists of three segments: highway, railway, and runway. Coming towards the railway, so we are going to discuss conventional track or the permanent way. Permanent way is basically once the track is laid, it has to stay for the entire life of the track. You may replace it with new ones, but that is why it is referred to as permanent way. The type of the rail gauges. Gauge is the distance between the two faces of the rails forming the track. आपने देखा होगा कि two steel girders जो हैं, they are going to make one rail. उन्हीं पे इंजन या ट्रेन मूव कर रही होती है. So now broad gauge that is being used in Pakistan. Important thing is different countries, they are having different gauges like standard gauge, broad gauge. The point is that okay, if the engine of the broad gauge cannot be used on the standard gauge or vice versa. Highways के केस में तो आपका सिस्टम है ना कि रोड इज ओवर case of the railway, vehicles, bogies, engines belonging to a particular gauge can move on a specific gauge. Then type of the rail sections के जो railway girder है उसका section flat footed है, double headed है, bull headed है. So we are going to study then rail joints, how to connect two rails either by welding or with the help of the bolts. So वो rail joints को कैसे connect करना. Then creep and wear of the rails, fish plates, bearing plates, and the check rails. Then type of the sleepers. Sleepers are basically to see connect the rail uh, with for two rails, one sleeper that is being used. So their merits, demerits, sleeper density के एक 100 feet length है, तो उसमें number of sleepers कितने place करने हैं. Basically sleepers they act as the support to the rails. Up till now आपको sleeper का यही पता होना चाहिए कि they act as a support. आगे जब sleeper को discuss करेंगे, then things it would be more clear. Then stiffness of the track, how much bogies it can travel safely without deterioration in the track, without and second without extra engine. There are certain tracks where you are requiring the extra engine. So railway engine that is referred to as the locomotive. जो engine के लिए term use होती है railway engine के लिए, that is the railway locomotive. अक्सर papers में भी आ जाता है कि the railway department is trying to buy so many 10 locomotives. So that is basically railway engine. Then you are having the ballast, requirement for the good ballast and renewal of the ballast. Formation of single and double track, formation failures, side for the railway station, layout of the station and yards. Then you are having the points and crossings. So for points and crossings, in case of the road, if you want to divert your vehicle from one lane to another lane, what you would be requiring कि आप steering first आपने turn किया है और आपने indicator दिया है, you move from first lane to the second lane. But in this case, you would be requiring a special system of points and crossings. कि वो जो arrangement होगा, based on that, wheels are automatically guided to move from one track to another track. Then you are having signaling and interlocking. Majority of the railway accidents that is due to the poor signaling. कि ड्राइवर ने आपको सिग्नल डाउन का इंडिकेशन दे दिया, आफ्टरवर्ड्स वो सिग्नल ट्रैक वाज ऑक्युपाइड, तो उस केस में क्या हो रहा होगा कि you would be having what you can say the accident. So signaling and interlocking. Then modern methods for the construction of the track. Then maintenance tools and organization. So these are the topics related to railway engineering. Then comes airport planning, airport. So airport requirements, normally what is the purpose of the airport? आपने aerial route या airspace use करनी है. So it may be to transport the passengers. It may be for learning purpose कि अगर आपने flying सीखनी है. It may be for some sort of the military or defense purposes. So site selection for the airport, then airport classification. Like you classify the soil. So soil classification के कौन-कौन से systems हैं? Major two systems of soil classification. Yes, anyone please respond.
USCS and ISTO.
Yes, USCS Unified Soil Classification System या ASTO classification system. Normally Unified Soil Classification System ये buildings वगैरह के लिए use हो रहा होता है, और ASTO classification system that is for the highways. Now for airport classification system you are having two systems. उस तरह के वो किस कैटेगरी में फॉल करता है, based on the runways, number of runways. Second thing is based on the terminal building. So we can classify the airports accordingly. Now every international airport, the governing body for this airport management is International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization. जो पाकिस्तान में मॉनिटर करती है ये एयर ट्रैफिक से रिलेटेड एवरीथिंग को, दैट इज सिविल एविएशन अथॉरिटी. So it works under the banner of ICAO. All international airports of the world, they are the member of ICAO. तो उसको आप वायलेट नहीं कर सकते. So when you are going to land or take off, तो you are going to check कि जो आपका plane है, either the runway is capable enough to so that you can land on that airport, or maybe the size of the aircraft is big and it's difficult to land that aircraft on the specific airport. तो हर airport जो international airport उसकी एक classification है. Then aircraft characteristics, आपने pavement design करनी है, कितना load आ रहा होगा, कितना wingspan होगा, from कितनी उसकी length होगी, because when you are going to go for the airport design, आपने hangar design करने हैं, you have to design the runways. अगर एक runway है तो उसके कितना gap छोड़ के दूसरा runway you are going to make so that the aircraft it can take off or it can land safely. Then you are having the runway length and runway configuration. Configuration is in which direction you are going to place your runway, east west direction, north south direction, किस direction में आपने runway अपना place करना है, तो that is runway configuration. Then runway lighting, airport drainage. Important thing about the runway is if you have to go for the repair of the runway, you have to get permission from ICAO. Okay, I want to repair this part of the runway or this thing, and the airport will not be functional for so much hours or so much number of days. So, and after the time you have to make it functional. अगर आपने 4 hours के लिए बंद करने की approval ली है, तो after 4 hours the runway it should be functional. Otherwise, the ICAO it is going to impose some sort of fine on you. Then airport drainage system, payload versus range chart. Payload, that is the revenue generating load. जो fuel है, fuel is not revenue generating. Payload के पैसेंजर मूव कर रहे हैं, उनका लगेज है, उनसे बोइंग कंपनी जो है वो टिकट बोइंग कंपनी इज गोइंग टू सेल द टिकट, तो उसकी बेसिस के ऊपर दे आर गोइंग टू जनरेट द रेवेन्यू. तो पेलोड इज द रेवेन्यू जनरेटिंग लोड एंड रेंज, हाउ मच डिस्टेंस द प्लेन कुड ट्रैवल. तो ये यू हैव टू मेक सम सॉर्ट ऑफ इक्विलिब्रियम बिटवीन द पेलोड एंड द फ्यूल. देन विंड रोज डायग्राम, टू fix the orientation of the runway, you have to go for the wind analysis. हम एक wind analysis करके एक wind rose diagram की sheet बना रहे होंगे. So what is the purpose of this wind rose diagram? To fix based on the wind data. From where you are getting the wind data? जो ये आपके meteorological stations हैं. From that you are getting the wind data. तो wind data की basis के ऊपर you are going to go for the orientation of the runway कि किस डायरेक्शन में you are going to place your runway, east west north south, कि किस डायरेक्शन में आपने runway को place करना है. So this is a brief intro about the course content. ये slides मैं आपके साथ share कर दूंगा. मैंने rather जो आपका टीम्स में फोल्डर है क्लास मटेरियल का, उस पे ये लेक्चर मैंने अपलोड कर दिया है. So you may get this lecture from teams. Then this is the tentative lecture delivery plan. So more or less I am going to follow this lecture delivery plan. So starting with the first part. So what is transportation engineering? So transportation engineering is the application of scientific principles to the planning, design, operation and management of the transportation system. Now, if you look planning, you say okay, एक facility या plan करनी है. We say we want to connect Lahore with this part of the country. Why? Maybe it is an industrial area, and the goods from this area they take more time. So no direct route that is available. It can be one of the reasons. So it is the phase of planning. Then you are going to design, then operation. After the facility that is being constructed, take the example of motorway. तो उसकी operational management system के लिए you have to you have to check. जैसे आजकल वो E-tag lane का start कर दिया कि भी there is no need to stop on the exit lanes or entry lanes. Rather than with the help of the e-tag, वो sensor automatically आपका detect कर लेगा. So transportation engineering is a vast field and it is the subspecialty of civil engineering. The transportation system is the functional system in the context of the society as a whole, because it provides a service that is movement and a movement of goods and people from one place to another place. Transportation system is the major functional system consisting of various components, as it is essential feature in the economy and personal lives of people everywhere in the world. A highly developed transportation system makes possible the abundance and variety of goods and the high level of personal mobility that are the hallmarks of a wealthy society. So, like if you have to transport the vegetables or milk from village to a main city, if transportation system is not good, what's going to happen? The vegetables may rot, or the milk, it may get wasted before it is being communicated or it is being transported to the cities. So that is good transportation system. It means a wealthy society. So transportation system from functional point of view, first one is the physical facilities. Physical facilities include street, road, highways, railroads, airports, sea and river ports, pipelines, and the canals. So in our country, we are using for main roads, urban roads, we are using the word road. But in different Western countries, streets like in Britain, 10 Downing Street, where their prime minister that is going to live. So streets or roads, they are used alternatively. Then highways, intercity, connecting two cities, that is the highways. Then railroads, airports, seaports, pipelines, and canals. Then other facility is the fleet of the vehicles, like metro bus ke case mein, couple of times you have heard on the television that they are going to bring a new fleet of buses, or they are having 42 buses in their fleet or 50 buses in their fleet. So fleet of vehicles, another facility which is moving over the roads. Then vessels or aircrafts. कि PA है तो उसके कितने aircrafts हैं which are functional, so that they can plan routes के कौन-कौन सा route that is available. Or vessels that is for the conveyance of the fuel for gas pipelines, like different pipelines, Iran, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan pipeline, Taipei gas pipeline. So these are the 2, 3, what you can say, the projects which are underway. Then operating bases and facilities, including vehicle maintenance facilities and office space. Like you are having the yards. ये अली टाउन के पास जो है ये ऑरेंज ट्रेन का यार्ड है, या अदर वे अराउंड गजूमत के पास जो मेट्रो बसेस का जो यार्ड है. Same is the case if you travel along the Ganeshaw Bridge. तो इसके नीचे if you look, so that is the yard for the railway. Pakistan Railway के लिए लाहौर का जो यार्ड है, from railway station up till this Mughalpura, we are having the dry port and the railway yard. Their offices, their residences for the railway personals or railway staff, there that is located. So these are the operating bases and facilities. Normally, the concept is the residence to an employee should be given near the office so that in time of emergency or at any time he is available. Then comes organizations. Facility-oriented organizations are involved in planning, designing, constructing, maintaining, and operating fixed facilities. जैसे TIPA है, Traffic Engineering, Traffic Engineering and Planning Agency. LDA के एक सब what you can say the office है जिसमें लाहौर के लिए they are going to plan. So operating organization are also known as the carriers are concerned with the operating fleet to provide transport services. Metro bus के लिए एक अलग authority है, orange train के लिए एक अलग authority है. So these are basically the organizations. Yeah, NHA है. Some roads they are being checked by NHA. Some are being supervised by Communication and Works Department or PWD, Public Work Department. So operating strategies include vehicle routing, scheduling, and the traffic control. ये उसके लिए जो operating strategies है for aerial route like aircraft के लिए, so that is to be civil aviation authority that is going to give this. Or ट्रेन के लिए जो पाकिस्तान रेलवे डिपार्टमेंट है वो एक टाइम टेबल बनाता है कि किस वक्त किस ट्रेन किधर से मूव करनी है और हर स्टेशन पे वो कितना स्टे करेगी या ये ट्रेन जो है इस स्टेशन पे दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू स्टे सो दीज आर द पॉलिसीज व्हिच आर बीइंग मेड बाय द ऑपरेटिंग स्ट्रेटजीज then transportation negative effects of transportation are transportation accounts for almost two-thirds of the petroleum consumption. So transportation is the major contributor of environmental problems such as air pollution, noise pollution, and destruction of the natural habitat. Now, modes of transportation. So these are the four famous modes of transportation: highway, railway, airway, aerial route, and waterways, water route. So these are the four modes of transportation. Transportation system is often analyzed based on their mode of transportation. Urban में जो fleet है that is the truck for the highways and passengers के लिए passenger auto or transit highway or the railway. Then intercity के लिए you would be having truck, rails, or ocean shipping, inland water, pipeline and air. So these are for intercity. And third one, special purpose conveyor belts or the cable system. So there is one more term used in case of the transportation engineering, that is the mass transit. Mass transit is the mode of transportation, especially in urban areas. It is the combination of highway and the rail transportation. So, like they say, metro bus, it's a mass transit project. Yeah, on a train, it's a mass transit project. A couple of persons they are using this facility per day. अक्सर वो उसके स्टैट्स में भी आता है कि 1 लाख लोग रोज मेट्रो बस पे या मेट्रो ट्रेन पे ट्रैवल करेंगे तो व्हाट इज दैट इज द मैस ट्रांजिट फिजिकली जो रोड्स हैं या रेलवेज हैं दे कम अंडर द मैस ट्रांजिट और other way around the people which are using this facility so they comes under the banner of the mass transit. Then manual labor, person carrying wooden planks on its back. Then this is the cycle cart carrying some goods. Then animal labor for recreational purposes. Then you are having the animal labor to carry out to transport the goods. Then you are having the railways. Then you are having the buses. Now look, this one is the example of grade separation. This road that is at the higher level, ये जो नीचे road है underpass वाली, that is at the lower level. So this one thing that is referred to as the grade separated. Different grades के ऊपर दोनों चीजें like आ रही हैं. If they are at the same level, so it is referred to as the जैसे ये road है, pedestrian path है और ये road है, both they are at the same level, so they are at grade. So if I have to comment, I say pedestrian bridge या crossing bridge and the road, both they are at grade. Otherwise, the roads intersecting roads they are at different grades. Then waterways. Then you are using the aerial route, airways. Then pipelines to transport fuel or gas, you may use the pipelines. Then involvement of civil engineering in transportation engineering. Civil engineering involvement in transportation engineering is primarily for the provision of physical facilities. Like transportation engineering, we go for the sizing and geometric design of the highway. I told you कि इस कोर्स में हम ये बात कर रहे होंगे sizing and geometric design of the highway. Then structural engineering, design and construction of bridges and other structures all along the railway or the highway or the runway. Terminal building design करनी है, tunnel design करनी है, so bridges design करने हैं. So that is the role of the structural engineering. Then hydraulic and hydrological engineering, drainage design. Okay, if please remember, the main criteria for the proper design or efficient design of the good road is drainage. If drainage is good, the road that is most probably going to complete its anticipated what you can say lifetime. If drainage is not good, the road is going to fail prior to the anticipated lifetime. Then geotechnical engineering, earthwork compaction and slope stability. So these are regarding the geotechnical engineering. However, civil engineering activity related to planning and operation of the transportation system may be referred to as the सिस्टम इंजीनियरिंग। तो मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड में तो आजकल इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम्स दे आर बीइंग यूज्ड टू मॉनिटर द ट्रैफिक और टू मॉनिटर एनी सर्विस। Then system engineering in transportation engineering involves analysis of transportation demand, analysis of the system capacity and operating capacity, design of the traffic control and operating strategies. So these consist of all the features कि अगर आप एक सिस्टम चला रहे हैं तो आपने अगर टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ द मेट्रो ट्रेन के कितने मिनट के बाद या कितने टाइम के बाद अदर ट्रेन दैट इज गोइंग टू कम, सो या इसकी आप कैपेसिटी कितनी इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं, अदर वे अराउंड इसकी स्पीड आप कितनी इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं. So that is basically the transportation engineering. Transportation engineering is unique among civil engineering specialties in the importance of its system engineering. So importance of the highways are so important and interwoven with every phase of our daily activities that it is almost impossible to imagine what life would be without them. We depend on highways for the movement of goods, for travel to and from work, for services, for social and recreational purposes, and for other activities necessary to the functioning of our complex society. So I told you before also, better is the transportation system, more wealthy is the society, or key indicator, one of the key indicators for the society is a better transportation system. If it is good, society is happy or wealthy, and if it is not good, society is not happy. So the planning, design, construction, operation, and maintenance of the highways depend largely on the efforts of the highway engineers, who must translate the desires of the people for better highway transportation into physical being. Now, regarding a brief history about the highways, break करनी है या should we continue? GCR. GCR.
Yes, sir.
मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि ब्रेक करना चाह रहे हैं या should I continue और एंड पे एक दफा ब्रेक करें?
Sir, I think end पे ही कर लेंगे.
ठीक हो गया जी. So the development of the highways. So signs of highways, their origin before recorded history, even before the invention of the wheel, that is 10,000 years ago. Stone paved streets of Ur, that is the city in Middle East, in the Middle East was constructed around 4000 before Christ. CA 4000, CA जो है that is stands for circa, एक style है ancient date को write करने का. CA 4000 BC stands for before Christ. Brick paving in the subcontinent started in 3000 before Christ. In Europe, wooden and stone pathways were constructed around 2000 before Christ. So streets of city of Babylon were paved as early as 2000 before Christ. Roads for pyramids of Egypt 3000 years before Christ. So the greatest road network was constructed by Romans. The characteristics of the streets constructed by Romans are roads were commonly constructed at least 4.25 meter wide. It was common practice to reduce gradients by cutting tunnels. The road were built on embankment 1 meter to 2 meter high. So these are the two statistics. Width 4.25 meters and height of the embankment is 1 to 2 meters. Now, what do you mean by embankment? What is embankment? Embankment क्या होती है? Anyone please answer. What is embankment? Yes, anyone please. ये नहीं आता तो ये भी बता दें कि सर नहीं आता जी।
A wall or कोई भी मतलब a wall or a hurdle placed in the flow of river or some water body.
नहीं नहीं, that is not an embankment with respect to the roads. अगर हम बात करें ना तो embankment is you have observed कि जो आपका take the example of the highway, the level of the road is high as compared to the adjacent ground level. या motorway के केस में देख लें तो 20-25 feet it is high as compared to the adjacent ground level. ठीक है, the raising of the soil for the placement of the road that is referred to as an embankment. कि आप embankment बना रहे हैं, raise कर रहे हैं. अगर उसके हवाले से बात करें जो साइडों पे जो अर्दन बंस हैं रिवर के या कैनाल के या उसके, तो दे आर रेफर टू एज द एम्बैंकमेंट कि आप रेज कर रहे हैं सो दैट वाटर इट मे नॉट मूव टुवर्ड्स द साइड्स की जो, या अगर आपकी फील्ड्स वगैरह हैं खेत वगैरह के उसकी तरफ मूव ना करें. तो सेम इज द केस के जो रोड्स हैं इट दे आर हाई. क्यों हाई करते हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू, सो दैट in case of rains ponding of water that should not be over there. या मोटरवे पे देखें तो उन्होंने जगह जगह कल्वर्ट्स बनाई हुई हैं फॉर वाटर मूवमेंट और कोर्सेज फॉर द कैटल पासेस या पर्सन पासेस ह्यूमंस के लिए कि एक रोड को क्रॉस करने के लिए अंडर तो उन्होंने ये वो बनाई हुई है, कल्वर्ट्स बनाई हुई है. द एम्बैंकमेंट इज बेसिकली व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू रेज द लेवल. अगर मोटरवे का देखें तो इट इज एट अ हाइट जिस सरफेस पे आप मूव कर रहे हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द एडजेसेंट ग्राउंड, तो वो रेज करने के लिए यू वुड बी रिगार्डिंग द सॉइल. तो नेचुरल सॉइल हो सकती है, इट मे बी ट्रांसपोर्टेड, तो उससे आप एम्बैंकमेंट बना रहे हो. तो दैट इज बेसिकली द एम्बैंकमेंट. Then industrial development in Europe created accelerated demand for the transport. So wheeled vehicles began to make their appearance on the roads in the 16th century. The disruption of roadbed caused by movement of animal passenger carts and goods wagons gave a spurt to scientific design of the roads. So that is basically the reasons. There are a couple of reasons why this form of the road it was developed: to reduce the animal labor, to reduce the wear and tear of the paths on which the load it has to be moved. Now, based on this, interest in the art of road building was revived after Romans in Europe in the late 18th century. During this period, French engineers advocated a method for road construction using small broken stone bases covered with small stones, okay, big pieces covered with small stones. The regime of Napoleon in France gave a great impetus to road construction, chiefly for military purposes, and lead to the establishment of the national system of highways in the country. Normally, even in case of the wars, तो जो armies हैं वो ये road, bridges या ये airports वगैरह को they are not going to destroy. The reason is if they have to conquer, तो same path को use करते हुए they have to advance further. So same is the case. Now, Paris Trescard of France was the first to recognize the importance of drainage and methodical maintenance. So, I told you the criteria for good design of the road is the drainage. One of the most important criteria, जिसको हम बहुत कम follow करते हैं in पाकिस्तान के जो हमारे drainage portions हैं वो अक्सर choke हो जाते हैं जिसकी वजह से roads they are going to fail before their life. So that is most important. Paris Trescard observed the effect of moisture content on the performance of the road. Camber was introduced in the roads during this time. Now, what is camber? Camber is basically you are going to raise the center of the road with respect to the edges. The center से road का level थोड़ा सा ऊपर कर देंगे और edges they are at down. The reason is that when it is raining, water that is going to drain out very very quickly. So that is camber. So John Metcalfe is associated in building good and stable roads in the 18th century. He used boulder to achieve strong foundation for roads and spread gravels as a surface layer. He pioneered the construction of good roads on soft grounds using sub-base of bundle of heathers. Heather, they are basically the leaves of a particular plant. So what he did, soft grounds on the top of that, he placed a bundle of heather so that impact of load on the soft ground, it would reduce. Then at about the same time in England, two Scottish engineers, Thomas Telford and John Macadam, developed similar type of construction. Telford urged the use of large pieces of stones to form a base with smaller stones for wearing surface. This is known as the Telford base. Macadam advocated the use of small broken stones throughout. This type of construction, आपने ये सुना होगा, WBM, water-bound macadam. So macadam is basically the person who proposed this sort of construction कि नीचे जो stones हैं, bigger stones, और उसको fill करने के लिए you are going to use the stone dust. So this type of construction is still in extensive use, being the runner of various type of the modern macadam bases and the pavements. So this one is a Telford base. You see big stones. Then as you move up, size of the stone that is reducing. Approximately stones of same sizes. They are being used. That is the macadam base. Raise the foundation above the surrounding ground so that groundwater will not soften the subgrade. Look, if the ground is soft and you are moving on the ground, your foot impression that is being marked on the ground. But if the ground is dry, no foot impressions, they are being marked on the ground. Same is the case. You have to save the road from water penetration. Water should not pond over the road, otherwise it would fail, or structure of the road, it would fail very, very quickly. Then crown the earth subgrade and drain the surface water into side ditches. Crown the earth subgrade के center से you are going to lift the earth subgrade. So if by any means water penetrates through the base course layer and sub base course layer, the subgrade it should be crowned के center से up है और side से it is down or level is less at the side, so that water it may drain out very, very quickly. Then use clean free draining stones. फ्री ड्रेनिंग मटेरियल, ये जो स्टोन्स हैं दैट इज द फ्री ड्रेनिंग मटेरियल. अगर इसमें डस्ट वगैरह आ जाए या वो चोक हो जाए तो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, यू हैव टू सीव देम, remove the fine material, and again you are going to place back the stones. So they are basically the free draining material which will drain the water and not be affected by frost. Why frost is not desirable in areas where temperature that is going to fall below 0 degrees centigrade. Now, if water that is going to freeze, so its volume increases. Increase in the volume, it may cause disruption. So that is why good quality stone, or you have to also measure the water absorption of the stone before using them as base course or sub base course. Normally 3 to 4% water absorption that is allowable in case of the road construction. Construct the roadway to suit the anticipated traffic loading के जितना load जितना उसके ऊपर traffic है उसके हवाले से you are going to design the roadway. Then comes all components of the modern highway design were being utilized in 1320 in England. Telford used a masonry surfacing and lateral drains every 100 feet, while Macadam used one size stone wearing surface. Macadam favored smaller stone pieces with angular faces, while Telford favored large hand-packed boulders. The use of these principles rapidly spread to the United States with the construction of Bonesburg Turnpike Road in 1823. Then different definition of the common terms in highway engineering. First one, highway. What is highway? Highway is an arterial road facility designed for high speed, high volume traffic in non-urban area. कि दो cities को दो towns को connect करने के लिए you are using the highway. Then road is a line of communication between places for use of foot passengers, pedestrians, riders, vehicles. City के अंदर within a city जितनी भी roads हैं, they are the roads. I told you street, that is also an urban roads facility. हमारे country में street जो है, that is the localized road which is leading to your residence. So that is referred to as the street. या उसमें lane का word या street का word that is being used. और roads जो हैं जो main roads वगैरह के लिए जो है we are using the word road. But different countries में streets भी in meaning of road use हो रही है. Then expressway. Here you have to concentrate. Expressway is the superior type of the highway with full or partial control of access and generally grade separated at intersections. Murray Expressway, Murray Expressway, then what you are having this ring road. It is an example of an expressway. Superior type of the highway with full or partial control of access. So, जो freeway है, it is the superior type of the highway with full control of access. Full control means if you have to move on the road, you have to get permission. Like आपके tool plazas हैं, you have to enter a tool plaza and you have to exit a tool plaza. अगर आप freeway पे या motorway पे use कर रहे हैं. Plus grade separated at all intersections. इस case में you are having the grade separation at all intersections. But in case of the expressway, what you are having, you are having maybe some add grade intersections, they are also present कि जहाँ tough locations हैं, आप कहते हैं यार add grade intersection ही दे देते हैं. One thing, control of access is optional, maybe full, it may be partial. So expressway or freeway. Freeway कोई we are going to say the motorway, normally British जो है motorway का word use करते हैं. जो Americans हैं ये freeway का word या expressway या freeway American literature में आपको these two words you are getting. Then motorways, if we talk about different roads of Pakistan, so we are having a network of high quality international standard limited access highways in Pakistan, which are maintained and operated by National Highway Authority, NHA, National Highway Authority. So Pakistan motorways are either 6 lanes or 4 lanes and are limited access with minimum speed of 80 kilometers per hour and a maximum speed of 120 kilometers per hour. So these are the speed restrictions. Otherwise, if you cross, तो वो जगह जगह के ऊपर जो है, they are having the speed guns. उससे वो आपको fine कर देते हैं कि you are crossing or exceeding the limit. They have a central median and are fenced on the outside for safety and to prevent unauthorized access. By 2021, operational motorway in Pakistan has a combined length of 2505 kilometers, with another 1489 kilometers is planned or under construction. So, motorways of Pakistan, इसको यू में चेक दिस फिगर, ये मैंने गूगल से ही लिया है, तो यू में चेक के 2505 है या इससे भी ज्यादा ऑपरेशनल लेंथ है मोटरवे की. So entry to all motorways in Pakistan is restricted to fast moving vehicles only. Two-wheelers, motorbikes and motorcycles are not allowed, are slow moving traffic modes and are not allowed. However, motorway police personal use heavy motorbikes for patrolling purposes. Construction and agricultural machinery is also restricted. The construction of motorway in Pakistan was first proposed between Lahore and twin city of Rawalpindi and Islamabad. So the idea behind a motorway was quoted by many in the country. However, many wanted the first motorway to be built between two largest cities, that is Lahore and Karachi. However, the plan went ahead and Pakistan first motorway M2 was completed in 1997 and was the first motorway to be built in South Asia. The contract was awarded to Korean firm Daewoo. It has 6 lanes and linked the federal capital Islamabad with Punjab provincial capital Lahore, and its length is 367 kilometers. Since then, the road network has further been extended to Sargodha, Faisalabad, which has 4 lanes and a length of 53 kilometers. The M1 from Islamabad to KPK capital Peshawar was completed in 2007. It has 6 lanes and a length of 154 kilometers. So Pakistan also has a nationwide system of national highways distinct from the motorway which are currently being built. The National Highway Authority are responsible for all the national highways. National highway begin with the letter N. N stands for national. N is not for north. N is for national, followed by 2 numerals and a hyphen. N75. Some national highways are also being given with the letter S. Strategic highway, or E that is for the expressway, followed by two numerals separated by the hyphen. So N for national, S for strategic, and E for the expressway. So ये चार पांच roads हैं, इनको थोड़ा सा याद करना है. One of them is N5, extends from Karachi to Turkham via Hyderabad, Multan, Lahore, Rawalpindi, and Peshawar. Lahore Peshawar section is also known as the GT Road or the Grand Trunk Road. The British built GT Road also extends east to the Indian border and subsequently continues all the way to Calcutta. Total length is 1819 kilometers. And that is Karachi to Turkham. Then Karachi to Gwadar, one more road. It is also known as the Makran Coastal Highway, extends along the Arabian Sea coast from Karachi to Gwadar, and its total length is 653 kilometers. Then N15 extends from Mansehra to Chilas via Naran and Jalkand. 240 kilometers is the length. Then Karachi to Chaman extends from Karachi to Chaman via Bila, Khuzdar, Kalat, and Quetta. It is also known as RCD Highway, Regional Corporation for Development Highway, linking Karachi and Gwadar, and its length is 813 kilometers. Then Krokoram Highway, N35, Hassan Abdal to Punjab pass, total length is 806 kilometers, extends from Hassan Abdal to Punjab via Aptabad, Thakot, and Gilgit. So these are just for your information, a list of various national highways of Pakistan. So just for your information, if you want to find out and in your locality, in your vicinity where you live, so kaun si highway jo hai. So that is basically just for your information. Then we are having 3 strategic highways, extends from Gilgit to Sikhardu. कि गिलगित को स्कर्दू से कनेक्ट करने के लिए यू वुड बी रिक्वायरिंग वन स्ट्रेटेजिक हाईवे. आपने गुड्स वगैरह ट्रांसपोर्ट करनी है, अदरवाइज द ट्रैक इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. देन एक्सटेंड्स फ्रॉम कोहाला टू मुजफ्फराबाद, extends from Muzaffarabad to Chukoti. So these are the 3 strategic highways. Then we are having the expressway E3, E4, and E5 expressways. Extends from Wazirabad to Bindi Batiya, Faisalabad to Jang, and extends from Khanewal to Lodhna. So these are the expressways. So N5, GT Road, Grand Trunk Road, basically a national highway. The National Highway Part 5, National Highway 5, part of Grand Trunk Road, runs from Karachi to Turkham, longest road of Pakistan, 1819 kilometers, and runs north from Karachi, located in Sindh, to Hyderabad, Moro, and Khairpur, before crossing Punjab, where it passes through Multan, Sahiwal, Lahore, Gujranwala, Gujarat, Jhelum, and Rawalpindi. At Rawalpindi, it turns eastward and passes to Attak before crossing the Indus River into KPK, where it passes through Naushera and Peshawar before reaching border town of Torkham. N5 Grand Trunk Road. Its total length is 18191021 in Punjab, 671 in Sindh, and 127 kilometers in KPK. It is managed by Pakistan National Highway Authority. N5 is built on the ancient Grand Trunk Road. After partition, a vast portion of GT Road came under Pakistan. Thus, development of this road took place, and in 1990, the road was converted into an international standard highway. In Pakistan, old GT Road ends at suburban town of Wagah near Lahore at Pakistan-India border. There were some routes in Pakistan which were also known as GT Road, Peshawar to Lahore, Multan Road, Lahore to Multan, Rahim Yar Khan, Bahawalpur to Rahim Yar Khan, and Karachi Road, Sakhar to Karachi. NHA planned to combine these roads into one highway, thus N5, a new GT road, came into existence. A huge upgrade took place on these routes in mid-90s, and N5 was converted into a 4-lane, 1819 kilometer long highway. Is the longest and most important highway. जो आपकी ground route से जितनी भी trade हो रही है, that is through this N5. Then Makran Coastal Highway. Makran Coastal Highway is located primarily in Balochistan. It follows the Arabian Sea coast from Karachi to Gwadar. Previously, there was a muddy track linking Karachi with Gwadar. Journey between the two could take several days, as the safer route to travel was via Quetta. The journey time has now reduced to 6 to 7 hours with the construction of this N10. Then Makran Coastal Highway, the highway was built as the part of an overall plan to improve transport facilities in southern Balochistan. Other parts of the plan include new seaport and international airport at Gwadar and construction of the road linking Gwadar to Kusdar. The Makran Coastal Highway. Then the basic why this was developed in coastal areas of Balochistan, the main livelihood is fishing. The catch could not be sold in Karachi because the fish would rot by the time they reach Karachi. However, the new highway has improved people's livelihood by giving them the opportunity to sell fish in major markets in Karachi. So, a view of the Makran Coastal Highway. Then Karakoram Highway N35 Silk Route. Karakoram Highway is the highest paved international road in the world. It connects China and Pakistan across the Karakoram mountain range through the Punjab Pass at an altitude of 4693 meter. It connects China's Xinjiang region with Pakistan northern areas and also serve as a popular tourist attraction. Due to its high elevation and difficult conditions in which it was constructed, it is also referred to as the ninth wonder of the world. And 35. The Karakoram Highway is also known as Friendship Highway in China, was built between by governments of Pakistan and China in 1986. After 20 years of construction, 810 Pakistani and 82 Chinese workers lost their lives mostly in landslides and falls where building the highway. The route of KKH traces one of the many paths of ancient Silk Road. On Pakistani side, the road was constructed by FW, Frontier Works Organization, employing Pakistan Army Corps of Engineers. So please, ये CORPS इसमें P silent है, Corps of Engineers, Pakistan Army Corps of Engineers. A view of the Karakoram Highway. Another view. So due to the landslide, the road it is being blocked. तो जो landslide material है ये debris है उसको move कर रहे हैं. Then coming towards the highway materials. So highway materials, it consists of three segments. One is the soil, other one aggregate, and third one that is the bituminous material or the binders. Soil जो bottommost part है इसका road का, that is the soil or the subgrade. उसकी characteristics को measure करने के लिए the point is कि you have carried out experiments in geotechnical engineering. One soil को characterize करना हो तो आप उसके liquid limit करेंगे, plastic limit करेंगे, sieve analysis करेंगे. Based on that you can classify the soil की at least soil classification group से belong करती है. Compaction characteristics find out करने के लिए you have to carry out the compaction test. Standard compaction test या modified compaction test you can perform in the lab तो आपके पास maximum dry density आ जाएगी. Please remember कि roads के case में you have to carry out the modified compaction test. Then coming towards the aggregates. Aggregates के लिए you are going to carry out the test regarding the shape of the aggregate, regarding the hardness of the aggregate. तो अभी बात करते हैं कि aggregate के लिए कौन-कौन से test perform करेंगे. Then bituminous material or the binder. If we talk about concrete, तो जो concrete में जो material use होता है, that is asphalt, cement or asphalt. और जो उसमें use होता है, that is the binder. Bituminous material or the binder. ये जो now what is bitumen? We are getting the bitumen as the byproduct of the petroleum industry. The petroleum industry say as the byproduct of the petroleum industry say we are getting the bitumen. So soil के characteristics आपने geotech 1 में या geotech 2 में learn कर ली. Now we are not going to discuss them again. Rather than उसकी जो application है, we would be discussing about that. Then comes the aggregate. Now the term aggregate refers to the granular mineral particles that are widely used for highway bases, sub bases, and the backfill. Aggregates are also used in combination with cementing material to form concrete for bases, sub bases, bearing surface, and drainage structures. Sources of aggregate includes natural deposits of sand and gravels, pulverized concrete and asphalt pavements, crushed stones, and blast furnace slag. So these are basically the various sources of aggregates Then properties of the aggregates. Properties of the aggregates includes particle size and gradation. Particle size जैसे आप soil का sieve analysis करते हैं. So on same grounds, we can go for the particle size and gradation of the aggregates. Then hardness or resistance to wear, because when you are going to go for use the aggregates for road construction, due to the impact or certain application of the brakes, impact is being generated. So hardness or resistance to wear. Then durability or resistance to weathering, specific gravity and water absorption. Then chemical stability, particle shape and surface texture, freedom from the deleterious particles or substances. So these are the various properties of the aggregate. अगर मैं आपको एक aggregate provide कर देता हूँ and I say characterize them and give either these aggregates they are good for road construction or they are not, तो उसकी gradation या particle size determine करने के लिए what you can do, you have to go for the sieve analysis. So a key property of the aggregate used for highway bases and subsurface is the distribution of the particle sizes in the aggregate mix. The gradation of aggregates, that is the blend of particle sizes in the mix, affects density, strength, and economy of the pavement structure. A grain size analysis is used to determine the relative proportion of various particle size in an aggregate mix. So the grain size analysis data are usually plotted on an aggregate grading chart as shown in the figure in the next slide. With the aid of such chart, engineers determine preferred aggregate gradation and require that the gradation of aggregate used for highway projects conforms to the limit of the specification band. Let's see. Along the x-axis, you are having the sieve opening. Yeah, if you recall, so you are along the x-axis, what you are having the grain size. And along the y-axis, you are having the percentage passing. आपने sieve number 4, 10, 40, 100, 200 ये यूज करके सैंड का ग्रेडेशन एनालिसिस किया और उसको प्लॉट भी किया. Now coming towards this transportation engineering, इसमें normally we are having the aggregates to 3 inch, 2.5 inch, 2 inch, 1.5 inch, 1 inch, 3/4, then 0.5, then 3/8, उसके बाद 1/4. These are the sieves which are being used. तो उसके ऊपर आपने कोई भी वेट ले लिया है, उसको जो मटेरियल एक स्पेसिफिक सीव के ऊपर रिटेन कर रहा है उसको वेट रिटेन आ जाएगा. उसके बाद क्यूमुलेटिव परसेंटेज रिटेन फाइंड आउट करें, देन यू आर गोइंग टू गो फॉर परसेंटेज पासिंग. तो आपके पास ये लाइन बन जाएगी which is referred to as the gradation line. अब इस gradation line से आप सॉइल को ये जो मटेरियल है इसको क्लासिफाई कर सकते हैं. ये D60 you can find out, D10 coefficient of uniformity आ जाएगा. Then coefficient of curvature you can find out D30 square D10 into D60. ये जो dotted lines हैं, these are the two limits. कि कोई भी specification है कि अगर वो इन दो upper limit और lower limit में लाइक आ रही है तो you say कि okay the sample is can be used for construction. अगर maybe अगर आपकी gradation chart जो है, if I draw, ये आ रहा है आपका gradation chart आ रहा है, then what you say, can it be used for this grading जिसका हमें ये given है or not? क्या ख्याल है? जी यूज कर सकते हैं नहीं कर सकते? ये अगर आपने एक सीव एनालिसिस प्लॉट किया है और आप कहते हो कि आपकी ग्रेडिंग ये आ रही है, अब मैं कहता हूँ कि इसको यूज करना चाह रहे हैं, कैन वी यूज इट और वी कैन नॉट यूज इट? यूज कर सकते हैं तो क्यों, यूज नहीं कर सकते तो क्यों? दोनों केसेस में ना यू हैव टू गिव द रीजन. So that is the case. जस्ट मैं यही हाईलाइट करना चाह रहा था कि these are the two limits. अगर वो इसके अंदर फॉल करेगा you can use it. अगर वो ये तो इसके अंदर फॉल ही नहीं कर रहा तो it means you may say कि आपकी जो gradation है that is not according to the required या specified gradation. इसलिए we cannot use it. Okay? Then resistance to wear. Material used in the highway pavement should be hard and resist wear due to loading from compaction equipment. The polishing effect of the traffic. So how the polishing what is the polishing effect of traffic? कि आपकी कार जो है wearing surface के ऊपर move कर रही है. So the aggregates under the impact of your tires, they try to move over one another. उसके ऊपर binder या they are being bound by the bitumen, तो उनकी movement जो है that is being restricted. What happens कि with the passage of time their surface it gets polished. जो base course का या sub base course का material है, it is the unbound material. जब load transfer होगा from the movement of the vehicles, the aggregates they try to move over one another. So based on that, what's going to happen कि उसके लिए जो है ना वो the surface it gets deteriorated, aggregate की degradation हो रही है, the surface of the aggregate it gets polished. So and the internal abrasive effects of the repeated loading. So as a result, wear and tear of the aggregates it takes place. The commonly accepted measure of hardness of aggregate is the Los Angeles abrasion test. बैल साहब ने जिक्र किया होगा लॉस एंजेलिस abrasion test का कि नहीं?
सर किया हुआ
जी Los Angeles abrasion test, that is a test being carried out to measure the hardness. The machine used in the Los Angeles abrasion test consists of the hollow steel cylinder closed at both ends and mounted on a shaft in the horizontal position. So that is the machine. So it has one lid. ये open हो जाती है. इसके अंदर you are going to place the aggregates. Now in this machine there is one steel shelf. कि जब इसको आप move करते हैं at a specific revolutions per minute, what's going to happen? Aggregates they rub over one another. इसमें aggregates के साथ we are also going to use the steel balls. Steel balls क्या करते हैं कि they climb the shaft and fall on the surface of the aggregate so that a pounding action that is being generated. So a removable steel shelf extending the length of the cylinder is mounted on the interior surface of the cylinder. To perform Los Angeles abrasion test, a clean sample of aggregate to be tested is placed in the cylinder along with the standard weight of steel spheres as abrasive charges. वो steel balls हैं या abrasive charges हैं, तो please remember कि जो 12 abrasive charges हैं उनका जो weight है that is 5 kg. The drum is then rotated at a speed of 30 to 33 rpm for 500 revolutions. After which the aggregate sample is removed and sieved on sieve number 12. The material retained on the sieve is washed, dried to constant mass and weighted. The difference between original mass and the final mass of the sample expressed as the percentage of original mass is reported at percentage where Los Angeles abrasion value original weight final weight divided by original weight. So that is Los Angeles abrasion. So original weight before the start of the test. After the test is complete, you are going to take the final weight, and then again you are having the original weight. So we are going to stop our lecture at this point. कल हम यहीं से start कर रहे होंगे. कल सुबह 9 बजे lecture है ना आपका? जी कल सुबह 9 बजे क्लास है ना? 9 बजे के 11 बजे है? Okay, we are going to start from this point. Any questions regarding today's lecture? Yes, any questions regarding today's lecture? G103.
No, sir.
56.
No, sir.
58. 59.
No, sir.
61.
No, sir.
62.
No, sir.
63.
No, sir.
4.
No, sir.
70. 70. 71. 71. 73 ये सारे एब्सेंट लगते हैं मुझे, ये बस लगा के जो है।
No, no, sir.
Yes, sir. 71 present.
74 76
Yes, sir.
78
No, sir.
80
No, sir.
85 86
No, sir.
88
No, sir.
90
Present, sir.
91
Present, sir.
92
Present, sir.
94 94 99 65
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Abdul Hasib Ahmed
Present, sir.
Ehtisham 98 मेरा ख्याल है इसका होगा, इंजीनियर शाम 98 है। हमजा नियाज मोइन अवैस
Yes, sir.
82, yes, sir.
नवीद अब्बास
Yes, sir.
शयान जावेद okay, it's all from my side. So inshallah tomorrow we would be meeting at 9. Best of luck and Allah Hafiz.